Should the Bills bring back Gabe Davis? We're going to talk about this on today's edition of the Bills Breakdown by Chat Sports. I'm Matthew Peterson, a host here at Chat Sports, which is filling in today, talking about a fan favorite in some ways. I mean, I think all Bills fans are always, going to think of his 4-touchdown performance against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. But now he is a free agent after a 1-year brief stint with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and there has been some chatter about a reunion possibly. So some background first off. Last offseason, Gabe Davis signed a 3-year, $39 million contract with the Jags. He'd only played 10 games for them, did not put up a whole lot of production in those 10 games, missed the last 7 games due to a knee injury. So the former 4th-round pick out of UCF by the Bills is back on the open market, and we see reunions more often than I think people realize, right? Coaches and GMs, they look for players who have familiarity with their system, with the way they run things. So there's a possibility that we see the Bills decide, hey, we know what we have in Gabe Davis, and we like what we have. It's just last offseason, we didn't want to go all the way up to $39 million. But for a lower rate, we'd be very happy to see him come back. My first thought, though, when I saw Gabe Davis released in early May after the draft was, that's kind of strange timing, right? You're not really doing him any favors because all the big free agent signings have come and gone from March. So if you were planning on moving on from him, why didn't you do it back in March when that's usually when we see these releases, right? Well, one light bulb went off in my head, and that is maybe that knee recovery isn't going super duper well. As players come back to the facilities for OTAs and soon minicamp and things like that, maybe that knee is just not getting where the Jags want it to be. And they decide, hey, we're not even the ones that signed you last offseason. That coach and that GM are long gone. You're not really 100%. And it's a decent contract that we're not financially gaining a ton out of by moving on from you after just one season. But you put all that together, and it could enter into or end in a release. So last year, in just 10 games for Jacksonville, Davis had 20 grabs, just 239 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But he was a touchdown machine for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, since entering the league in 2020, Gabe Davis has 29 career touchdowns. For reference, that is top 20 in the NFL, and that is right there with the guys of DeAndre Hopkins and DJ Moore. So he's got a nose for the end zone. He's a bit of a sink or swim type of player. He's never had more than 50 receptions in his career. He's only gone over 700 yards twice in his 5-year career. Hasn't really, he's become kind of close to 1,000 yards. And hey, I'm not trying to, diminish what Gabe Davis has done because I think he's a valuable wide receiver 3 that could be like a nice wide receiver 2. So if you have wide receiver 1 expectations and you look at his stats, then maybe you feel a little bit underwhelmed. But I don't look at him that way. And so if the Bills don't look at him that way and they want to bring him back to be a competitive number 3 receiver on this team, yeah, for 29 touchdowns, sure, you're going to have a case of the drop still, and he's a good run blocker in open space. I'm not saying he's a perfect receiver, but for the right contract, for the production he has given your team, I feel like you could do a whole lot worse. So let me know. I know Bills fans are searching for more help at wide receiver. We're going to talk about one guy that Buffalo did sign after the NFL draft, but let me know if you would like to see Gabe Davis come back to upstate New York. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down in the comments. For me, I'm open to it. Why not, right? I'm not a Bills fan. I'm not trying to pass myself off as one here, but I don't think that Gabe Davis had a sour departure from Buffalo. There was some social media stuff that went on towards the end, but right now he's a free agent. He's coming off a knee injury. He can't be all that picky. And if Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills are picking up the phone to reach out to him, you're probably not going to get a much better offer or situation than that. Now, I'm not sure if the Bills have any interest in bringing him back, but their receiver room is lacking a little bit. So, sure, I could see Buffalo kicking the tires on a player that knows their offense, right? Knows their system, knows what they want to do with Josh Allen and in that Sean McDermott offense. So, yeah, I could see Gabe Davis coming aboard and joining like Curtis Samuel as someone who's competing for a wide receiver 3 to 4 type of role here. I mean, when you look at the top 3 wide receivers from last season, the bar isn't super duper high. Mac Hollins is gone. Keon Coleman, is just entering his second year, so not going to make any hard, fast conclusions on him. Khalil Shakir, I thought, took a huge step forward last year to fill the void of Diggs and Gabe Davis. So if a signing does happen, you know that we're going to have a video out for you, and you're going to wish you were subscribed if you were not. So join one of the fastest growing Bills YouTube communities out there as we march our way to 5,000 subscribers by clicking that sub button down below. Now, switching gears a little bit, I want to talk about a different wide receiver, and this is a wide receiver that's actually on the Bills. That is Elijah Moore. So I just felt like, hey, while we're on this vein of wide receiver chatter, let's talk about one of the more notable receiving or just signings in general since the draft ended. And that is the former second-round pick by the New York Jets, who played the last 2 years with the Cleveland Browns after being traded in the offseason. He signed a very cheap 1-year, $2.5 million contract, which I think Davis, coming off a knee injury, is probably not going to be very far from that number. So if you're worried about breaking the bank for Elijah Moore, I don't think that's something you have to stress over. But I think Moore is actually a really good, sneaky, under-the-radar signing. I feel like he's a very talented receiver that unfortunately has just been limited by bad quarterback play. He's had almost 10 unique starting quarterbacks since entering the league between the New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns. Don't you think with that talent and a little bit of stability with Josh Allen at quarterback, these two could be an awesome tandem? Elijah Moore also offers coaching staffs a ton of just creativity and flexibility options. You can put him up in the backfield. You can put him in the slot. You can line him out wide. I think Moore is not going to ascend to a wide receiver 1 level, but I think he has shown that he can be a nice wide receiver 2 to 3, and like Gabe Davis, with a good quarterback, can put up some pretty solid numbers for you. And for $2.5 million, I think you're going to get great value out of this signing by Buffalo. So if I were you, I'd buy some Elijah Moore stock right now. I'll make a bold prediction that I don't think it's all that bold. He's going to be this team's either number 1 or number 2 leader in receiving yards by the end of 2025. He's not competing with a clear-cut number 1 superstar receiver like when Diggs was in town, but there are a lot of good receivers, and with an elite quarterback, he's going to elevate those good receivers to being above average to borderline great. And I'm excited for that, and I think Elijah Moore is going to see a huge boost as a result. So I'm getting in on the Elijah Moore train. So let me ask you this question to kind of wrap up today's episode. The Bills' 2025 leading receiver. I'm going to put the yardage total at 900. You taking the over? You taking the under? Get in the comments. I'd love to hear which one gets more votes. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate everyone's support of the channel as we continue to grow. If you like the Bills YouTube content we post, all I ask is that you like and subscribe. 2 things that are completely free, but that will help get this Bills channel more studio time here at Chat Sports and get you guys more content as a result.